Hey guys, welcome back to Inchworm Gardens. It's early May. I'm here in Middle Tennessee and it is a warm, humid spring day. So I thought it was a perfect time to give you a full tour of the garden, show you everything we got growing. Now it's mostly greens, it's very early, everything's fresh and new, but I wanted you to see the garden at this stage because it is really beautiful and it just rained. So let's take a tour. Alright, so the first garden bed is actually our wine cap mushroom bed. So this whole little area of wood chips was inoculated with wine cap mushroom spawn, and you can see it's starting to work. See that beautiful white stuff? That is the mycelium. So that is the main body of the organism, and eventually it'll shoot up mushrooms, which are basically the fruit of that fungus, that mycelium. So really looking forward to that in the fall. Here's our bleeding heart. Really pretty. Does really well in this shady spot next to these two big hostas. Here's our 3 different types of mint. Some flower, I forget what that is. This is the honey flame honeysuckle. Just starting to put on some flowers there. It's that really pretty pink on the outside with the light orange on the inside. Alright, these 2 yellow buckets are actually potatoes. We're trying to grow some potatoes in 5-gallon buckets this year. This is a first, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, coming into the garden. Really surprised to see this black-eyed Susan vine already starting to put out some flowers, even though it's only a few inches tall. Here's our bed of greens, looking real nice. Our different kale. I believe this is the red Ursa kale. And then the red Russian behind it. Look very similar. The lacinato dinosaur kale. That's the dwarf Siberian kale. That's the feathered frills. I really like this variety. That's how feathery it is. This is the blue curled Scotch. Really impressed that this thing is growing as well as it is. You can see that it's smaller than all the rest. That's because it actually got ripped out. Almost the entire root mass, when it was real small, it got ripped out and there's only a little bit of root left. I put it back, not sure if it would make it, and it's coming back strong. So that little guy is a fighter. This is tatsoi, really nice Asian green. Here's another interesting thing. This is the same seed packet, the same seed apparently, and do those look like the same plant? I don't know, maybe it's a variation of it, but this something's going on there. And then same with this, that same packet of seeds, I did like some heavy sowing right here, and you can see it's half of this tatsoi and half of this mystery plant. Looks similar to tatsoi, but I'm not sure what it is. It's starting to go to flower. These are really tasty. Really nice garden snack. Here's our different types of lettuce. This is the broccoli rapini. So this also throws up these little flower buds. You can pick them at this stage and they're really tasty. As I'm coming around, let me show you this. This is actually poppies. Way too thickly sown. This is kind of an experiment. These are supposed to be spaced like a foot apart. There's like 500 plants or something in here. Look at this. This is just like poppy central. So we will see, basically it's going to be like the strongest will survive and the rest will get shaded out or whatever, but I'm looking forward to some nice poppies coming up there. This is arugula. We just started harvesting these greens. We've been enjoying them in the morning with our eggs. Love having these fresh greens in early spring. This is the, what is this? Hishi something, Hishoki. I'm going to put the name up here because I'm messing it up, but it's basically an onion, type of onion. And this is its second year, but look how big these stalks are. And it's flowering this year. We really just haven't used that much. All right, let me come around here, and I'll tell you about that in a second. So on the other side of this green bed, we have another blue curled Scotch, and that came up from last year. Or I should say it basically survived the winter. See that nice thick mature stem? So all this new growth came back and it's doing really well, so we're keeping it there. This is a purple peacock broccoli, and that's a Yad Fa Chinese broccoli. And along the back of this entire greens bed is peas. The peas, this row of peas got a late start because we put them in the ground, and every single pea that we put in was eaten by a vole. It was literally like Pac-Man. He just came through and chomp, 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 ate all the peas, the entire row down. So I started some in a flat, got them established, then transplanted them, and that seemed to work fine. The voles weren't as interested in the established plants. So those are a little behind, but they're growing well. It's two different types of peas, but the ones that survived and were planted from the beginning and are at the correct height that I was expecting these other ones to be at are these. Check this out. This is the golden sweet. It's a golden pea just starting to flower, and you can see it has kind of a yellow stem there. And a different one, this is the blushing Susie, I think it's called, or blush, oh, spring blush pea. You see it's more green there. So we have the golden pea and the spring blush, and then the spring blush and the golden pea. And yeah, it does have kind of a yellowish look to it, and this is supposed to have nice flat yellow pods. So looking forward to those. This is the Cascade hops. Doing pretty well. We have another hops over in this corner doing really well. Give you a closer look in a second. So this is kind of a random bed. This is all glass gem corn coming up. This is some random radishes and some borage. And this is the salad burnet. Look at this cool flower head. This is an interesting green. Has kind of a cucumber flavor. This is this overwintered, so it's really doing well. We'll let it stay there for now. Some more radishes over here. We planted some sweet corn over here. I know they are planted kind of close to each other, so there might be some cross-pollination happening, which I'm okay with. I'm not planning to save seeds from either of them. This is another, the Yad Fa broccoli and the purple peacock broccoli. So we'll hope to get some broccoli heads on those. Some garlics planted in the winter. This is the summer shandy hops. So this is a tomato trellis or tomato cage here, and then a flipped upside down tomato cage here. And that's working pretty well. It's getting all the way close to the top. Hops is a really, really cool plant to grow. I really don't see too many home gardeners growing it, but it's super easy, super productive, and makes these beautiful hop cones in the fall. They just smell really good. Even if you don't use them for beer or anything like that, they just are really ornamental and really aromatic. So this bed, we got some basil. That's a lettuce leaf basil, mamelo basil, purple opal. This is some dill. I think that's either dill or fennel. I think that might be fennel. I think dill is still coming up over here. And this bronze fennel from last year. This is really nice. This has a real nice kind of anise flavor, which is like that black licorice flavor. Some people love it, some people hate it. My wife does not enjoy it, but me and my son Wesley, we love it. He comes out here and just snacks on it. Some more radishes. These were the French breakfast. starting to go to flower too. These are some extra starts that I had. Alright, so I'm going to back it up here to this bed. First, I'm doing better this year about succession sowing, so I have my next round of flowers and greens and things growing that once these things start to peter out, we'll have a backup here. So really making a point to get that in this year. Alright, so this bed, this is kind of a random bed because so many of these touch-me-not flowers reseeded themselves, and they're so pretty I didn't want to move them. I was not planning on devoting this almost entire bed to that plant, but it's there and I'm not going to move it. And we have some Swiss chard. This was an ornamental broccoli that we, or sorry, kale that we put in the fall, and it came back. So this bed is kind of a hodgepodge. This is a really pretty hummingbird mint. This is the Texas hummingbird mint. Also perennial, it came back this year. That has some really nice pink flowers. And this whole wall in the back here is all black holus barley. So it goes all along here and then onto this bed. Alright, let me back it up again so I can show you this. This is our little herb bed. Oregano. I've learned that oregano really spreads more than I realized. That's okay, so that's a big bunch. We're keeping that trim back because we don't want it to choke out our thyme, which we really enjoy. We use the thyme for cooking a lot more than oregano. And then this lemon balm next to it also just grows huge, so I have to keep that trimmed back. But very aromatic, I enjoy having that. And then this is the orange thyme. Got those seeds from Baker Creek newly this year, so I'm excited to see how those turn out. Give it a little smell. I haven't really messed with this too much. Alright, it just kind of smells like thyme to me, but maybe as it matures it'll get more of the orange flavor. Here's some chives. And here is a lemon mint, or sorry, lemon thyme. I bought this at a plant sale. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. So that's definitely thymy and very lemony as well. And it has that pretty variegated leaf pattern, really nice. We've got some random strawberries in here. So this green stalk planter is all planted with strawberries. These are the Sweet Charlie is the name. And what will happen is as they grow, they send out these little runners that drop down, and they'll drop into the ground here, and they'll make more plants, which is fine with us. I did actually remove some that were growing in the wood chips here, like you can see this one, and we moved them to the side of the house in our little berry patch. So you can really get a lot more strawberry plants that way. If you have some strawberry plants, you can just plant those runners. Look at that tiny little guy. Tiny little snail. Anyway, you can plant those runners and they'll be new plants and they'll produce for you. Alright. So down here outside of our little chicken tower, so this is all connected by the way, this is our chicken tunnel, aka the chunnel. Chickens can walk through, connects to the coop down here. Then we built this little tower space so they can come in and roost up here and we can feed them from here, which is nice. Some lavender starting to bud out. Okay, so underneath here I planted some sorrel. This is the also called bloody dock. This is a pretty green, and my understanding is it gets quite large, so the idea is basically I planted it close enough so the chickens can peck at it. So my idea, the plan is that it's going to get real big and we can harvest the front half and the chickens can peck the back half. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those plants planted all around this little area. So looking forward to seeing those. Alright, this bed. So again, we have the black hulless barley all along the back. Once those go to seed, we'll harvest the seed heads and cut that down. So we have zinnias planted on either side. Two more here. It's the pink senorita and the Redmond super cactus zinnia. And then in this bed is our peppers and ground cherries. So we have some sweet bonnet peppers, the ají cachucha, sugar rush peach. I think those are habaneros. This is a milkweed that came back from last year. I had two plants that didn't do anything for us last year, but they are thriving this year. So this has been a really nice surprise. So one of them is this nice milkweed, and the other is this purple coneflower, echinacea. So we planted, I think, like 4 plants right there. Got completely shaded out by this giant tomatillo that was growing here. And I actually just forgot about it, and then this year it popped up, and look at this thing's growing really well. Again, it wasn't quite on my garden plan, but I'm just letting it grow. You gotta just roll with the punches sometimes. This is ground cherry, starting to put on some little flowers. This is probably our all-time favorite garden plant. If you've never grown ground cherry, please give it a try. It is the best, sweetest fruit, so productive. I planted, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I had 8 plants this year. Oh yeah, I planted some extra, because they were gonna go here, but that guy was unexpected, so I planted some more over there with a similar idea that they will grow into the chicken chunnel a little bit, and the chickens can peck at them because they love eating those. It's a habanada. This is an experiment I'm going to try overwintering. So at the end of the season, I'm going to trim it down and I'm going to bring it into the garage, let it overwinter in there, and then bring it back out in early spring to get a sooner, earlier pepper harvest. I've never done that before, but I know that it can be done. All right, in this back bed here, this is all our tomatoes. This is just a wall of tomatoes. I'm gonna put all of their names up. I don't have them all in front of me right now. There's 12 different varieties across here, and they're gonna grow up these stakes. I'll try my best. I planted these like a few weeks ago. This is the Berries Crazy Cherry, the Blue Cream Berries. I think that's the Prairie Fire, new to Baker Creek this year. Or actually that might be it. Okay, this is a bad idea. Brad's Atomic Grape. Something or other. Something else. Okay, terrible idea. Don't worry about it, I'll show you the names another time. Dragon Tongue Beans. There's a watermelon back here. Oh, I know this is really just not a good place to plant this watermelon. I had no intentions to plant watermelon here, but my sweet son went to a gardening class and they started watermelons, and he was insistent that we put it in the garden, so we're gonna give it our best shot. Same with this big squash here. So it's probably gonna trail out here, and I don't know what it's gonna do, but we're gonna give it our best shot for that watermelon. Some different flowers in here, and then more peppers. We have shishito peppers. Actually, I think these are all shishito, and I think that's a sweet bonnet pepper. All right, and then this is 2 different types of peas. I did this method that I learned from Monty Don. He's this English gardener. This is basically our old Thai basil sticks that I stuck in here, and that's what I'm using as a trellis for all these peas. See, they just grab onto them. That's working real well. And then the newest little bed is this little bridge over here. Got a few things growing. Let's go take a look at that. Beautiful time of year. I love the garden, especially right after it rains. Everything is so fresh. That nitrogen gives it a big boost and just makes everything, all the green pop. So this is comfrey actually that I transplanted from the front yard. set along the side of this garden entrance, and that's looking really nice. Most of them took. I had it planted all along here, but that's still, those didn't do as well. We're gonna dig these little steps in. This is from a fallen tree that we chopped up recently. And here's our little garden path bridge bed. So we have some hyssop or hyssop flower in the front, some butterfly, what is it, lemon bee balm, sorry, in the back. And then all along here, we planted alyssum, the sweet little fragrant white flowers. So hopefully it'll be like a big horseshoe around here. We actually planted some under the bridge too. And then on this side we have 3 different zinnias and some more of the extra ground cherries. So I think that's 10 ground cherry plants total. And as I mentioned, these are gonna kind of bush up and sprawl a little bit, and they will reach over into here, which is prime picking spot for these chickens, because we gotta share with the chickens. And they're actually a very nice addition to the garden. I think if you're able to incorporate chickens in your garden, they're really beneficial, a lot of fun. You can put them to work improving soil, helping with bugs. You feed them your greens, they turn the greens and bugs into delicious eggs. So they are really part of the team here. Alright guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that garden tour, and I'll see you guys again real soon.